Glad you're here. Today is the day that we celebrate St. Nicholas's Day, all right? And that's Nicholas of Myra. Now, do you see this particular puppet here? What does he look like?
Santa.
A little bit like Santa, that's true. What else does he look like?
Priest.
He looks a bit like a priest, but what about, see this type of hat? Tell me about what kind of person wears a hat like that?
Pope.
A pope or
Or
a bishop. A bishop wears that. He was the Bishop of Myra, which is partly near Turkey.
a nose hat.
What? Oh, okay. Now, his story is really important to us because this goes back so many hundreds and thousands, just a long time ago. Myra is near part of Turkey now, so that's that part of the world. And in his day, which was about the 400s or 500s, I'm a little fuzzy on that right now, he was responsible for sailors who would go in and out of the city, so he's the patron saint of sailors. And what do you think this is in his pocket here? Yeah, one word.
Looks like some sort of a badge.
It looks like a badge, what? It represents gold coins in his pocket. Now you see, in his time, if you didn't have a dowry, especially for a young woman, you couldn't get married. You'd have to bring something into the marriage, and you might be sold, sadly, into slavery, which was a really hard thing to even think about because it's not something we do nowadays. And there were 3 daughters in a household, and it was fairly poor. And St. Nicholas learned about what was going on there, and he did something. You know where after you wash your stockings, but you don't have a dryer, but you have a fireplace in your house, you know where they dried their stockings, what they would wear on their feet? They're like their socks. They would hang them on the mantelpiece to dry by the fire. Does that sound familiar at all yet? What St. Nicholas did was, he had a really good aim, evidently. He could take a coin and throw it through an open window and have it fall directly into the stockings that were hung with care by the fireplace. Does that sound familiar at all, where we begin to get that? Now, there was another way that this also worked, too. People could leave their shoes out, and that's the way they do things in Europe, and he might have put oranges or coins in there. Yes? Yes, yeah. Now, you're all making the connection I hope you make. You see, he's got a bishop's hat and a big beard, the gold coins here. His face hopefully is filled with love. He's sharing love, the love he knows in Jesus Christ. And he looks a lot like who?
Santa.
So when we think of Santa Claus and we hear him called Old Saint Nick, he comes from the heritage of St. Nicholas. So that's how we begin to understand all the things. So when Santa comes to your house and you have stockings, you can think of the stockings that St. Nicholas had. The sharing of presents. For instance, if St. Nicholas was here and he was to walk in, he might look at all the toys that have been put out here to care for the children that we're going to offer through Holiday Express, and he might say, "Cast the light of Christ in the darkness," that these presents represent the shininess of gold, the joy that we have found in Jesus. So he would bless these presents the same way he blessed those girls, the same way we know the love that comes as we celebrate Santa Claus. It's the same kind of love that we find in Jesus Christ, and we're blessed by that as well. So that's the lesson with the little puppets. Thank you for coming forward.